Hey everyone. Currently we are trading for the 3rd of Jan of 2025. We've got some interesting price action today due to the fact that yesterday's relative equal lows haven't been tagged. Only Friday, December 20th low has been tagged. We still got this low here on the 27th of November still remaining open with liquidity below it. It looks like price attempted to catch it, reversed 20 points before actually tagging it, and it pushed to the upside of the weekly volume balance. And right now we're sitting between today's end dog, yesterday's end dog. Now we're trading through it. We just tagged the relative equal highs here that were formed pre 7 o'clock. And we're just below London's highs above us. So as of right now, price really can do two things today. Looking at the daily chart. All right, since we're in such a discount and price almost tagged the liquidity here that we're targeting yesterday at November 27th, price might just retrace higher, break down lower, and tag these equal lows here, or it might start reversing. But as of right now, my bias is I do want to see these lows taken. I couldn't imagine price just leaving them open, pulling up higher, and then taking them lower. And as of right now, we are sitting above the weekly volume imbalance that I've indicated yesterday. So if you go on the weekly chart, this is the weekly volume balance that's being respected many times over and over again over the last couple of weeks. It's a very strong level that once price breaks it, it has a issue breaking it to the other side. So we are sitting above it. All the bodies are closing above it. Same with the wicks. They aren't piercing the midpoint, which indicates this is providing bullish strength. And as of right now, we'll be waiting for some kind of setup, either a long or a short. We are intraday traders. So the high that's interesting to me right now is going to be this London high here. We got liquidity sitting above here. We're currently in this end dog. So this is short-term possible target that maybe 8:30 might deliver here. So let me take one of my icons. I get a better icon. It's less huge. For me to take a trade like that, I would want to see a break above the end dog, come back down, retrace into a fair value gap, and take it higher. But then again, we are moving relatively sideways on the 1 hour, even on the 50-minute chart as well. So we do need to wait a bit more. We also have liquidity sitting below us as well. Look at the 50-minute chart here on the top right. It's been engineered. This candle right here at 7:15, it did take some of it out, but it's just something to watch out for. So it might be for the move down later on today. Once you start breaking to this weekly volume balance, coming back up and possibly taking yesterday's lows and those previous lows, which is creating a double bottom on the daily chart. So for today's morning session, strategy one, we wait for relative equal highs and lows to be formed post 7 o'clock. Nothing really has formed. We got something right here. This might be a stepping step on the way down if we get that move today. But other than that, I think, interim targets based on the 1 hourly development and the 15-minute development is London highs might be a possible target. Again, nothing that I'm crazy about right now. It is Friday. We have news coming out at 10 o'clock. High impact news. What exactly? It is ISM manufacturing PMI. So what that most likely means is if I don't catch a trade post 9:30, I'll probably wait till 10 o'clock for that news to drop. But we'll have to see. Hey, garden variety. Next week's NFP. So the trading days are going to be Monday and Tuesday, possibly Wednesday, but I'm probably just going to be reading price action Thursday and Friday. Something to look out for. We're going to be entering the 830 algorithm soon. So for those who don't know what the 830 algo is at 830, price does two things. It either spools to an area of inefficiency or liquidity, or it does nothing and price holds till 9:30. So we trade here time first and then price. So opportunities around 8:30 and just right after it usually provide nice runs if the technical analysis is clear. So this area right here, very interesting. It's London's highs. It's not a high after 7 o'clock where the algo starts to refer to price before it, but it is a price of liquidity that price might gravitate to before either reversing or providing some other move in the market. Yesterday at 11 o'clock, we had a bullish or a bearish order block here with a massive drop down, broke the weekly VI to the upside. So we are going to be trading into this order block here. But that's going to be a lot higher than our actual intended target of these London highs if we do surpass this end dog here. But as of right now, we're just bouncing within this end dog. We just tapped the highs, or we almost did. And price right now is going back to this inefficiency created at 802. We'll see how it reacts from it. This fair value gap. Let's see what else we have here. We had relative equal highs here as well. Form, engineering liquidity. They've already been tagged by price by 2 levels here. Would I have considered any trades long here earlier in the morning? Probably not. Nothing really tradable. Because you'll be trading into the end dog here. Like the only real trade would be right here. A spike into the end dog, retracement to the fair value gap and taking it higher. But again, you are trading against the grain here. This price could have just went back down and taken out these relative equal highs here, sitting at 21,220. What's an end dog? It's a new day opening gap. New day opening gap is the Let me give you a real example here. It's the difference between yesterday's closing price and today's opening price, right? So you can see here, the last tick of yesterday at 4:59, the close, the open of 6 o'clock today, or yesterday, sorry, which is today's end dog. So yesterday's close and yesterday's open. This is a gap that price tends to gravitate to and respect and reject within price action. So they are true levels of support and resistance within the marketplace. And see, to give you an example here, you can see price opened up, came right to it, went to midpoint, rejected, and then broke higher, and it never touched it since. So if you back test and study these end dogs, these new day opening gaps and new week opening gaps, you'll see if you add these to your trades, they will enable your strike rate if you're using them correctly. So we've got London highs here. We got London lows right here, liquidity. And right now we're essentially trading between the both of them. I use my fib retracement here. We're currently on the premium side between these two levels of liquidity. Price did push down into this 1 minute fair value gap here marked in blue on the 1 minute chart. The bodies are sitting in the upper half here. It is retesting the midpoint. It is a tricky long from here because it took a lot of liquidity from the AM session, these two levels here. So it could push down lower, grab these two, or it could start punishing higher here. So nothing high probability right now to trade. 8:30 is going to be in 13 minutes. So I think it'll be best if we wait till then and see if we have a short scalping opportunity. Has anyone here taken any trades in the morning so far? Or do any of you trade the AM session to London? The reason why going short here is difficult is just as weekly VI. You can see here, since London's open, it just couldn't get past midpoint. So if we were going to be shorting into this liquidity here, first of all, I would want to see some kind of spike up higher and disruption before going lower, but it'll be pushing into this heavy support that price has provided over the last 3 days, right? So on December 31st, right? All these rejections, it's just, you'll be trading into it. It will be high resistance or possibly. So I think the easier trades will be long if we do have an opportunity to catch price going long. But that's that. Those are my thoughts. You can see here, price spiked down all the way to the low and a bit past this fair value gap. Is this indicative of price continuing to go higher? Maybe, but all this is saying is that we've effectively filled in this fair value gap. It's not as strong as I'd want it to be. We'd always want our PDA arrays to be left open. That indicates strong PDAs or reversals. So something like this kind of says, if you were on side, it's not as strong as the PDA that you'd want it to be, especially this fair value gap here. Hey, Clarence, you normally wait after the 9:30 open? Yep. I'll probably say, I think 35% of my trades are pre 9:30 and the majority of them are post 9:30. So that's definitely a good strategy there, Clarence. Waiting for the volume. the session on Monday that's coming up. I am trading the AM session. I think I'm going to start running the stream at 7 a.m. I will try to trade something before 9:30. That is the best pre-opening, the morning session of NFP week on a Monday morning. Highly recommend trading it. You'll get very clean price action before everyone starts flocking at 9:30 for NFP week. So I'm going to be actively scanning the markets for a large opportunity before the week starts. So you can see here, this is not how I like to see PDAs being respected, right? Wick's going really low. The bodies are still sticking within it, but usually PDAs, you want price to go in it and then just repel right after it instantly. We got 8:30 coming up in 10 minutes, but as of right now, price is ranging on the 15-minute. It's not showing me much on the 1 minute. So in this case, we sit on our hands and wait. What's this level right here that I have marked? Oh, yeah. So this is the relative equal low. So you can see on the downside, we have a lot of relative equal lows that have just been left open. Relative equal lows. So I see these as stepping stones going down into this level right here. But at the same time, we have levels of liquidity above us. Oh yeah, I watched it. Pretty funny. I watched it at 2x speed, that video that he posted, just sharing his, his freaking trades that he's taken in 2024 all the way from March. So I'm glad he did say that he's going to be commencing. I don't think he's going to be doing live trading in February. He's going to be doing some kind of, I think, daily analysis starting early Feb. So he said that everyone who hasn't watched 2024, we essentially have 4 more weeks to go through that material. I personally, I'm reviewing it the second time right now, taking detailed notes. So I think by February, I should be finished. It's only like 250 hours of videos. It's not that bad. I tried doing like 3 hours of ICT videos a day with notes and then implementing them over the week. But yeah, Michael is funny. Has anyone else here watched his first video of the 2025 mentorship? If you haven't, go ahead. Start it off. Do not fall behind. The moment you start falling behind in videos, it's the worst. You start playing catch up, you speed through it, you miss stuff. You got to take it one day at a time. So you can see all the bodies here are still staying within the sphere value gap. So interesting, right? This one right here has mohawked ever so slightly by a quarter of a tick. I think so, right? No, maybe not. Nope, it looks like it closed at the body. I don't usually take trades when we're within end dogs. I still see this as not a high probability setup if I were just to take it long from here. Like something like this, would I feel comfortable in taking? Probably not. It fully filled in this fair value gap, indicating a weak fair value gap. We're still in the end dog. It hasn't broken above it. It's taken these relative equal highs here. This could have been the retrace from them, but ultimately, I don't have a strong enough bias based on technicals to take a trade. The last hourly candle, it did reject this weekly volume imbalance, but again, it's just not enough. It's just left relative equal lows below us. The 5-minute chart, let's see here, the 5-minute. So you can see it's very rangy here on the 5-minute. The relative equal highs here, they're still indicative, or they're still, you can still see them on the 5-minute chart. And nothing too crazy here. All we need is just one clean setup, one clean win, and we ride into the weekend. My last 8 trading days had 100% strike rate or 100% win rate. The trading day, not my trades. My trades. I've managed to stay above break even or have a winning trading day ever since 23rd of December. But that has to be pretty broken. My buy is still bullish. I'd like to see sell side taken before I look at opportunity buy. Yeah, that's the issue. We got this freaking sell side. We got buy side. It's opposing levels on both sides that can be taken, and that's when I stick to the sidelines and I wait. The highest probability trades is when like you take turtle soups after clear raise of liquidity with higher targets below you or above you. Those are the ones that really bring in a lot of money. So, but like this fair value gap here, this is not a good fair value gap. I'll tell you that right now. Or it's not one that's going to be a high probability fair value gap to trade off in the future. Kind of price went all the way down to the bottom, came back up, back. I can't even break it. So you don't use the midnight opening price? No, I don't, Clarence. So the midnight opening price, I use it a lot for when I used to trade Forex, but when it comes to NQ, where is the midnight opening price? It'd be somewhere here. 24. So it is a true open when it comes to NQ. Sorry. I'm going to mark it in red here. How do you use it right now? Clearance on your end. The only way I heard ICT use it, and maybe I'm forgetting something, but from the open all the way to 12:30, this is your essentially 9:30 open, but at London. And price is going to refer to this in the future, this range right here. right? So you can see here, especially, it's really actually interesting. Look how well price is respecting that first 30-minute like gap or range that it created. It's usually just going down to the midpoint and rejecting it. But I don't use it at all. If there's a way you guys trade the midnight open, or let me ask you this question: how does this midnight price add confluence to 7 a.m. and post that time trades? All right, so price did manage to get out of this fair value gap finally. 830 has just hit right now. The price is going to do two things. It's going to spool to liquidity or efficiency or nothing at all. If price is going to make a move higher, it might make it right now during this 830 time frame. You can see here price, it created a little fair value gap. It punched into it at 830. It's pushing higher now. Closest area of liquidity it's probably going to tag, it's right here. At 808. And then it's going to go higher, retrace, and then take out these highs from London. Right, I use it the same as an NDOG or NWOG when price will gravitate towards. Interesting. Price is pushing higher now. It's going to take this liquidity here. It's going to break it any second now. It just broke it. That was taken. It's trading at the upper half of the NDOG. Yeah. Clarence, that makes sense. I think that's how ICT traded FX. I don't know if he ever talked about NQ in terms of that. Maybe he did. I may have missed it in his million hours of recordings. So let's see what price is here right now. It's breaking the NDOG to the upside. I'm long from 253. 253. London low, targeting London high. Sorry, the delay here. You here. Yeah. Hey, Slothfather. Interesting. Yeah, it's valid long. It's not a gamble. Do I see price going here? I think so. I think that's where it wants to reach to. I'm just waiting for just a high probability position that I can take myself. I don't know if I'll catch it, but it did break above the NDOG of 102 finally. I do want to see it go to like some level of inefficiency and then trade higher. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen. Should happen soon. So price kind of came back down here, rejected the NDOG on the 15-second. This is not enough again to go long. And I'm going to see if Like this was like a decent low here, like this entry right here, right when it broke this. But I wasn't crazy about how price was acting around this fair value gap here with equal lows below us. Just a lot of equal lows below us. This might be the tag on liquidity before we get a reversal to go to the downside. Let's see what price is going to do with this inefficiency right here. But good catch, Slothfather. Good catch. Are you going to come back down here to this inefficiency here? Stop to break even. Good. Yeah, right now I'm looking at levels that it could possibly respect on the way to the downside before it pushes higher. That's going to be a possible entry. On the 5 minute, no fair value gaps that illustrate down to. This 15-second fair value gap, it might keep it open. If it does, that's a good thing. It'll keep going up. But if it retraces, I think that's going to be the level that longs can be taken with your stop essentially right below this 1 minute bullish order block. What's going to be a 6 pip stop, very tight. It's usually the trades I don't take, but let's see what price is going to do. It's not doing much. Like after it broke the sun dog, it is moving a bit sideways. Like if I see a wick in here and then it closes above the sun dog, I might take a long. We will see. Give me a bit more price. I'm not crazy about the stop here. I've got inefficiency right below here as well, now traded to. Maybe like a stop at here would make more sense. Okay, price is pushing back down into the end dog. Price touch the midpoint. Fully close it in right now on the 15-second chart. The 1 minute is trading below it. Let's see how this body closes here on the 1 minute. If it stays within it and then it pushes higher, or it keeps dropping. It's going to close in 25 seconds. So with it breaking to the upside, technically there should be some support from the end dog. Pushing price higher. If its intention is to take out these highs, London highs. So the bodies have closed below this fair value gap here. Not a good sign, right? Where's price pushing towards? It's about, when it comes to trades like this where we think it's going to go somewhere, but we're not 100% sure. Like we have to wait for signatures on the 1 minute to see how the fair value gaps get traded to. See that one right here? This one got traded to right now, the midpoint. That's the one I was worried about. And I'm going to take a quick long here. Let's see here. Small risk. Make a tiny trade. Stop's going to be, see if I can. Guys, this is not an A+ setup right now. This is more of a, so my stop's right here. It's only 2 micros, risk of $30 per account. The expectation here is it turns around here and it doesn't go lower. If it goes lower, it's a failed setup. We will see. Once I see a bit more on the 1 minute, I might scale in. And my stop is right below this low here. That's how I took it. So if price breaks this 15-second fair value gap, it's probably going to retrace lower here. I'm also using this inversion fair value gap here from the sell side of the curve. So price is respecting it, bouncing off of it. I'm going to buy 2 more and push up my stop loss. It's a funny trade. $36 of risk and $200 of reward. Okay. So my stop loss is very tight. It's below this low right here. Once it breaks it, I don't want to be in it. There you go. I'm out for $30. $36. And could you imagine it starts going up from here? Hold on. I'm going to rebuy right now. I'm not going to take this on the market. So this is a really good rejection here from this level. I just got mohawked out of it. I can't believe I got stopped out by 1 pip. Yeah, this is really good here. The bounce up in inversion. This is the fair value gap I was worried about. This mohawk and above it validated this fair value gap here. So once it breaks this low, no interest again in the trade. But the draw on the higher time frame does make sense to the upside. I'd classify this as probably a B setup, but it's very clean on the 15-second. We traded back into the upper quarter of the end dog and should bounce higher. But we'll see. This here was excellent price delivery though on the 15-second. That's how my trade looks like right now. Trading into this fair value gap here. Of the 15-second. It broke below it. All right, I think it's gonna take me out. It's gonna tap once more into this inversion fair value gap from the sell side. And I am the cusp of being out right now. Price them out? Oh yeah, should be. There you go. All right, so that is essentially 2 losses for me. I'm at minus 150 per account. But ultimately right now, where is price going to? Unknown. Unknown level. It's going back into the sloppy fair value gap. The 15-second here was clean, but unfortunately it didn't continue going higher. You can see here because I kind of labeled it as like a B setup, wasn't high prop. It's just because of right now we're ranging in the 15-minute chart. That could have been the breakout, but unfortunately it wasn't. The price is pushing back down into the midpoint of the end dog. It's rejecting it. But all in all, what I think is going to happen for today is we'll have to wait for the 9:30 open. 8:30 did not deliver today. Small push higher above the end dog, came back down. Price is creating fair value gaps to the downside here, indicating, interim bearish pressure. On the 5-minute, it did break above the end dog, which was a good telling sign here, but it just closed right below it. The candle after that, negating that break higher. London. Still an interesting level. But where's price going to right now? It's pushing lower. It's taking short-term sell-side liquidity right here. And the question is it going to break back below, go into the weekly VI? But I'm still team bulls based on this price action. This fair value gap is still keeping price within it, at least the bodies, which is the most important thing. But again, because it attempted to break it so many times, it's probably going to break to the downside. It's not something that would hold price to go to the upside. It came down, filled it, came back up, came back down, filled it completely again. Not indicative of a strong fair value gap, but we still have it here because it's the largest one here and it's technically respecting price. So right now, I'm not sure how long the 8:30 algo runs for, but price usually starts spooling at 8:30, but it didn't do much. It did absolutely nothing today. So price either spools or does nothing at all. So most likely the price run is being deferred till 9:30. 9:30 is going to be right here. Once we hit that, it's going to be 9:30. In terms of yesterday's close, if we change to RTH, regular trading hours, we map out the close of yesterday at 4:14. We're right now trading above yesterday's close. Okay. Got in at 249, stopped out below 5-minute fair value gap. 249. Yeah. I really thought this would be the breakout, but it wasn't. Price decided to come back down, and it's just sitting in this area of support or resistance, this end dog. We are above yesterday's close by 45 points. We'll have to see what that gap value is going to be at 9:30, but usually I'm sure, right, if we open up bullish to yesterday's close. But in this case, again, it's weird just because we got this weekly VI, and if we use Slothfather's midnight open, which is a fair value to look at, price has rejected it many times and pushed higher. So like for me to short this, it's tough, but for me to short it, I'd want it to break the weekly VI, and then I'll start looking for lower prices targeting 970 as the final price. But this is messy too, guys. Look at this here. Price is just sitting between these two levels. It's consolidating. So price finally broke that end dog, or sorry, this fair value gap here that we have to the downside. Where can price be possibly going right now? Possibly nowhere. It wicked down, now it wicked up. It might be targeting these equal highs here for a downside target. And then these relative equal lows here as well. But it's going to be trading into the weekly VI, which it respected very well over the last 10 hours. So London highs are left open, London lows are left open, and we are dead smack in the middle. Price broke the end dog to the downside here. Pushed back up. Looks like it rejected it on the 15-second. We do have this fair value up here from the buy side of the curve. It's trading into a fair value gap here. See, very rangy here. Where could it possibly go right now? I'll probably say the second fair value gap that has formed. Once it breaks this one, it goes to the third one. Lower probability of these equal highs being taken, but I really think it's going to just keep doing this until 9:30. Price tried to attempt to touch the midpoint. It didn't do so. It rejected aggressively here. So remember, if price doesn't reject the first fair value gap, sometimes it can hit the second one here. Our target's always the first one after these ranges, but again, we're back in the end dog here, right? So not something I would trade here to the downside, personally. Because we can just respect this level and just go higher, take out, or go into this fair value up above us. But we'll see what price does here. Created a balanced price range right here. This is called a BPR on the 15 second. So when you have a fair value gap on the buy side and on the sell side of the curve, it's technically balanced. So the price shouldn't break it through. But I'm personally waiting for the 9:30 open today. And then most likely we got the 10 o'clock news. So we might get maybe a silver bullet after 10 o'clock or a quick scalp after 9:30. Find the first fair value gap down to the midpoint of the RTH gap and call it a day, but we'll see. Price is pushing into this 15-second BPR here. Let's see how it's going to react to it. The body closed right at the open. The gap lower, push down. Just wouldn't see this as a high RR trade. It's like a 1-to-1. No interest there. But this is going to be the next pull on liquidity right here. These equal highs here, they're a bit too smooth. We're still pushing into this weekly VI here. PA wise, the levels that we're trading above us and below us suck. Like they are not good. Like this is, if this weekly VI wasn't here, I would have felt a lot better about going shorts, but it's just all this reaction here is no fun. The moment price closes below this opening here, that's considered a valid bearish order block. So that has been validated right now. So if price closes or pierces above these highs, then that invalidates it. But right now, just technically another area of resistance that would have to break through to go higher. So we're below the end dog. We have this bullish, bearish order block that has formed. Most likely price is heading for these equal lows here. I put equal highs, but I meant equal lows. So we got relative equal lows here, here, and lower as well at 870. Looks like it's right here, here, at 970. So I'm gonna be a bit quiet probably until 9 o'clock, 9:30. Don't think a lot's gonna be happening till then. This is going back into the end dog. Price has touched this SIBI here. And this BPR that we have here on the 15-second. I'll make this BPR red here. And it looks like it's aiming for these lows. After 7 o'clock, when price creates these relative equal lows and highs, they're just reference points for price to tag later on after these time frames. So at some time point post 7 o'clock, these equal lows will get hit. It might be now, it might be after 9:30, but price rarely leaves them open like this for them just to hang around. If you guys have any questions, let me know in the chat. But we got no volume right now, so good time to grab coffees. Price is pushing into this BPR here on the 15-second. Once it rejected this fair value gap, there wasn't an energetic move lower. Just kind of slowly print accounts to the downside. It's a signature of weak, bearish price action. Bodies are closing within the lower half of the BPR, but technically price shouldn't. There's no reason for price going back into this because it's already balanced, right? So if it breaks it, it means it's going higher. So these conditions here, are they seek and destroy? Just taking lows and highs at the market? I don't think so. This is not like a true seek and destroy, but it's definitely messy PA. I'm gonna grab a coffee right now. I'll be back in 5 minutes, but I'm gonna start actively looking at the market once again at like 9:15, seeing viable setups that can be taken post 9:30. Price right now is just hanging around the low of the undog. It's technically creating fair value gaps here, but it's, you know, created a bissy. But this is not what we want to see right now, unless it's going to invert and take you to the downside. But it's definitely, this is high resistant trading here. It's all the candles are essentially overlapping each other, and from 853 all the way to 905, you know, it's messy PA. Price is pushing back to the upside. That's interesting. I really wonder what's going to happen here with us if these London highs are going to be taken or these lows first. This is it is disgusting. Yeah. It'd be even more disgusting if this candle continued pushing all the way to London highs. So taking out these initial shorts from this fair value gap and then just punching higher. Yeah. Where I live, you can't play golf. It's winter right now, but I can't wait for golfing season. Once April kicks in, then time to try to break 80s. I think that's like the ultimate trading combo pack. It's like you're a trader, you golf, you smoke cigars, and then you have a sports card too. Like that is the personality that I think everyone slowly just eventually gets. I am a truck driver, so I get to play often. Oh, nice. Good stuff. Lucky you. I don't know how you manage to drive such long distances. The other day I went to the States and back. It's a 5-hour trip one way. Man, my brain was done after 5 hours of driving. Yeah, but this is, once you start pulling in money, trucking is going to disappear from your life very fast. Price hover around the midpoint for a sec. It looks like 15-second pressure is pushing to the upside. Again, nothing to trade off of, guys. It's just I'm just trying to get a read on PA right now. It's trading into this fair value gap that kind of respected to the upside to the downside in a very sloppy way. So these lows now, it's now to triple bottom. I've got these lows here and I got this low as well. So this is going to be a drawn liquidity. This is going to be a drawn liquidity as well. But at the same time, it's like you will be trading to the weekly volume imbalance here. So to see shorts, we're going to have to see some insane displacement to the upside. Like that classic shark attack candlestick pattern where it essentially takes out liquidity very fast and starts pushing aggressively the other way. That's when I would be comfortable start attacking these lows here. But what's the open going to do in 20 minutes? Personally, I don't know. Looking at the higher time frame, I'm just not getting a read on it. Like we got this bearish order block here, right? Bearish order block 1 hour, right? Price rejected it once, and it's just sitting between these two levels here. If price were to go higher, where would it go? Into like the weekly fair value gap, attack these highs here, right? Possible, right? Or is price gonna do something weird here and then start pushing lower, grabbing these relative equal lows? It just these two narratives, that both of them for me make sense from a higher time frame perspective. I think I'm leaning more short than long personally, but I can see it going both ways, right? Look at this. Like, if price tapped this low today, I would say I'm team long, so we're going back up. But just because it left this, I am not too crazy about it. That's why. Yeah, so I can see going long or short from here. Hopeful to retire by the end of this year and a trade only. I've been funded, but I've just broken through funded funks. Been trading for 3 years. Cool. I've been trading for, I think, 8 years. So, and when it comes to these funded challenges, the strategy to take is to get funded is very easy. It's 2 days, especially with Top Step. It's you see one A plus setup, just risk five minis and just get your 1.5K. And then on day 2, do the same, right? Be very selective with your trades and just take 2 trades to get to that target. It's very simple. It's $50. I wouldn't recommend doing more than a 50K combine. I think trading with 5 minis is insane. First of all, the most I've done is 2 to 3 minis. When I was trading 3 minis, the most I've made in a single day was 25,000 with Top Step. Only half of it was, in payouts, just because they only allow you to take half. But that's the money that you can make off of 3 minis, and then 5 minis would be even more. But you can also blow it the other way very fast as well. So I wouldn't recommend doing higher than 50K accounts for Top Step. You don't need 15 minis to trade. And it's the ultimate life hack. It's $50 to get potentially 50K in funding with a 2K drawdown. If you have an edge, you make a lot of money. And even if you blow it and you pull out 10K, just 2 days, you're funded again and just redo it again. Yep, exactly. That's what I do as well. Like if you look at all my past combines, it's a 2-day pass, and then my risk goes down to $200 per trade. And that means I have to get 10 trades in a row wrong for me to blow it, which is I think impossible unless I'm on tilt or something. But that's how you do it. Scale down. And then once you get above, I'd probably say a $3,000 drawdown, then that's when you can start rescaling again. So your risk is like $300 or $400 per trade, just because you can afford price to go back down. And once there's 6-7K, you can start trading 1 to 2 minis per trade, no problem. And that's how you aggressively scale up and get big payouts. You just can't let greed hit in. I think a month ago when I had my account at 5 of them and they were all above 7,000, my greed definitely started kicking in because I had like 7 or 8 winning days in a row. And that's when you take one trade, I lost 600 on it. And I'm like, okay, let's take one more, another 600. And you're down already 1.2K. And then you're like, okay, I just need to break even for the day. Just a quick 2 to 1. And you take some stupid trade because you're time bounding yourself to break even for the day. And it just continues that downward trend until you remove more balance than you wanted to, or you blow your accounts. So the psychology is also very important once you start winning. It's like that Porsche 911 that I want to get. It's only 180K. Let's go a bit hard right now for the next month. And in 2 months, I'll buy it. Oh, hey, wish me well. How's it going? Price action has been garbage, as you can see on the 15-minute, on the 1 minute. I took a loss here trying to take out these London highs through a retracement, but price just decided to just push back and forth here and do nothing. So what we tried doing today is retrospectively looking at it as we knew price was consolidating like this on the 15-minute, on the 1 hour. We tried timing the breakout. I think we timed it at the right moment. It was after 8:30. If it were to break out and take it, it would be between 8:30 and 9, but it didn't. So I'll probably label this as like a B- setup. Was an A+ or A for sure, I'll tell you that. But That's why the risk was a bit lower. 911 Turbo S paid off from trading is the, oh yeah, that's going to be the gold car there. Turbo S. I feel like it's a bit too much power for your first car. I feel like 911, the 4S, like the all-wheel drive, maybe that might be like a good supercar to start off with, and then eventually graduate into the Turbo S. Right now, the Porsche Taycan, the GT version came out. I don't know if you guys saw. I don't know who here is into cars, but it has over 1,000 horsepower, and it's 0 to 60 was like 1.8 or something. Insane, because it's an electric car. So as long as we're patient in the market and you only wait for A+ setups, which today wasn't a good illustration of it, stuff's going to come faster than you guys think. But highly recommend everyone. 2025 mentorship is coming out. Give that a read or a listen. Yesterday's first video came out. It was 8 minutes long. It's just ICT going over his trades. Honestly, if you don't watch it, you haven't missed out on anything at all. If I can save you 8 minutes, if you have 8 minutes to spare, watch it. If not, I think the first video is a wash. But 2024 mentorship, in my opinion, is where it's at. So let's see what price is going to. We're opening in 13 minutes. Okay. RTH gap. I'm still very conflicted about the open here. So we're 75 points above yesterday's close, which is good. Right. Midpoint's going to be somewhere around here. So on the 15-minute chart, you can see my indicator. The indicator that I'm using right now for this is called, that's what it's called. It was a buy. It's called NWOG, NDOG, RTHG, and EH. These are the settings that I use. So I use the last 5 NDOGs and the last 5 NWOGs. I do want to see the trading hour gap in quadrants. I have that as green. Show event horizon. I don't look at event horizons. I don't trade with them. And that is kind of how I have this indicator set up. So it automatically plots my RTH gaps and my end dogs and new week opening gaps, new day and new week. Hey, Hopeful, how's it going? All right, the gang's coming in. The liquidity is coming to the market. We are the liquidity. All right. So initially, here are my thoughts for the open, but I'm uneasy about them, so I'm not going to trade them immediately. The midpoint's going to be somewhere here, okay, of the RTH gap. Remember, there's a 70% chance that price would want to gravitate to this. And the reason why I like it is because we got this equal low sitting right below it. So if I'm targeting this equal low. Then we got these relative equal lows right here, which is another quarter down to the RTH close from yesterday. Regular trading hours close. So this is why, honestly, fuck you, price, for doing this. Stupid. Yeah, the trade that I took was like this today. When it came down, it was something like this. That's what I wanted to capture today, but I failed to do so. And now it looks like price decided to drop all the way below the end dog and then back up, right? But this is actually good now, because if it sweeps these highs post or pre 930, I'm going to be more inclined to short it at the open. So right now we're what, 90 points above it. That's good. Yeah, this like this stuff is triggering. Like, you get the direction right. You know where it's gonna go. You didn't time it correctly, which is fine. It's just one of the pieces of the puzzle. But it's just, this was like this PA was, guys, untradeable. Like, would you take a long down here? No. Would you take it here, trading into this fair value gap? No. Once it rejected like this, would that be higher probability? In my opinion, no, because we're still in this end dog that has essentially never broken to the upside. And then finally, when it did, it's already too late. So this move is not catchable unless you're lucky. So let that be tagged. And then my eyes, even though so right now we're gonna be trading into the 1 hour bearish order block. This one right here, below the massive drop here. We're gonna tag London highs. We're gonna have this huge RTH gap below us, relative equal lows, 1, 2, and here's the throw on the market. And price may have engineered, here's my theory for the day, engineer these relative equal lows, these relative equal lows here on the daily for it to target later, which is today, right? Thinking, we're telling everyone, hey guys, we've already dug in pretty deep. We're going back up. Instead, it might just go up and just punish these lows and start pushing lower. Looking at the weekly, last week, it opened up, right? Poked up, came back down, and this week it's already pushing down. So I don't know, it's Friday. We're above the VI. It's just, there's so many conflicting factors here, but I'm going to be eyeing for some kind of Judah swing to the upside, then down, market shift, and hopefully targeting the midpoint. Yeah, news will give us, it'll tip its hand. But this is nice so far. This is what I wanted to see earlier in the day, but it didn't happen. So I guess, guys, even though some of you, including myself, took a loss here or break even, because I know a couple of you got in at a better price than I did. Bias was right. We understood where buy side was. It got taken. It's just shitty PA today. You take the loss or you take the break even and you move on to the next. Yesterday I was pretty cheesed. I took 3 trades. One of them was break even. One of them was a small win, was a partial, and one of them was a full win, right? But all 3 were correct. It's just targets just weren't reached. It's just about patience. That's all we need. Okay, price right now is sitting. If you guys look at the top right chart, just because my 1 minute can't generate this just because it's too far back, but we punched into the new week opening gap of 1202, which is another area of interest. I did mention yesterday, if you look at all these lines I have here on the 15-minute chart, this is how you usually create, or this is how ICT creates bias, or at least told us how to create bias. It's where do you see a clustering of new week and new day opening gaps? It's all above us, right? So price technically should gravitate to the upside, right? Based on what we see here. But at the same time, it's just looking at this RTH gap and this very small window of price action. For me, I'm bullish on the rest. I'm bearish on this. So we got to wait. I'm not the GOAT. I am just a trader that diligently studies ICT material and I try to implement it live with people watching me. So, I think by February, once I run through 2024 mentorship again, I think I might become a better iteration of myself in trading. But that's that. Let's see here. If today's a big win, today's payout day for me. I want 2 more K until I pull payout for top firm. So 2K win, and I'm extracting 10K USD. Do you use equilibrium or standard deviations? I use equilibrium, yes. I do want to see where we're at in terms of the range, right? So for example, looking at the most recent range here, right, from high to low, I do keep note roughly where we're at. So right now we're trading at a premium within the most current price run. I use the other standard deviation I use is target placement, right? So usually if this is the run that I'm targeting, and here's the pullback, and here's the next one I want to target, I'm going to try to target negative 0.25 sometimes. So that is a very safe target to hit. Usually it hits it. ICT said it's like low hanging fruit. Like you can definitely take it to the lows, but if you want to start stretching yourself a bit more, once you're a bit more profitable, try negative 1.25 for target placement, right? That's where the next reach should be. That's all I use. Midpoints in that. I've used standard deviation a lot when it came to like trading the 2022 model back in the day. So like 0.62 Fibonacci retracement, OT, entry, etc. But I kind of moved away from that. I'm currently sticking more towards fair value gaps and price action, where price wants to draw to and from, equilibrium, and that like negative 0.25 gap placement. 4 minutes, boys and gals, till we okay. So here are the London highs. I'm gonna remove this eyeball since we've already tagged it. I'm gonna remove this as well so it doesn't throw us off. This loss here is these green and red boxes, and we're gonna see how price is gonna react to the London high here. Okay, so you have a fair value gap here. For there to be a market structure shift, price is gonna have to tag below the open of this candle here, okay? On the 1 minute. Here's a 15-second fair value gap that has formed. And it's going to be used as an inversion the moment it breaks through it. But it's, here's the new day opening gap. And then this is the new day opening gap from today. Like it hasn't been traded. It has, but only once, right? So it kind of hit it once and then it broke right through it. So again, it's just so many things to the upside to the downside here. So right now, the cherry on top here is going to be, what is price going to show us on Friday? Remember, guys, it's Friday. It's not the best trading day. And if price is going to go lower. Do I want to see price pushing past this high here? No, I don't. That's going to be indicative of, even if it punches a bit higher, that's considered a market structure shift on the 1 minute, or sorry, on the 1 hour to the upside. I do not want to see it break this price if it's doing a Judah. Okay. Right. Let's see here. Price is pushing above the, so it's like, how is price going to punish the market today? That's what it's doing. It's punishing traders. We're 110 points above the open. So this is really good. Like we're going to have a good open. If I had the balls, I would just short it from here, but I do not. I've never traded past the 930. I don't think I ever will. It's just too unpredictable for me. All right, we're opening in a couple seconds here. All right, we have opened. Spike to the downside, filled in this fair value up here. It looks like it might be pushing up right now. Honestly, it's pushing up right now. It might be the interim Judah. This is the price that I do not want it to break. It's just gonna remove validity from a possible short, but I am looking for like this gap right here to be filled before we go higher. For me, it's gonna be these relative equal lows here. We're waiting for some first fair value gaps to form to trade off of and to give us some more market bias. There you go. It's pushing to the upside. Tap that high there. I tapped the body of the 1 hour bearish candle that I've indicated here. All right. I am going to remove this now. So technically on the 1 hour, that's considered a market structure shift. But let's see here. Was anything here tradable so far? I don't think so. Okay, we've entered 931 here. First fair value gap has formed. That has significant weight. So this here is the 15-second fair value gap. And I'm going to call the F first fair value gap. Okay. Price pushed up really fucking. In an ideal world, coming down low here, tagging these lows and going higher would have been preferred. But if price leaves this entire RTH gap just open for the entire session, it just means it's extremely bullish. In 30 seconds, we might have our first 1 minute fair value gap. Right, so where is price pushing to right now? That's a question that we have to ask ourselves. So we have all of this buy side here. We got buy side here. So we got relative equal highs here on the 15-minute. So this could be a target right here for long. Okay. So relative equal highs. We have a lot of buy side sitting above this area right here. Right. Come on. That's liquidity right there. This could be the Judah. Am I going to take this long? No. Could it keep pushing higher? Yeah. All the way to here. But this is not something that I chase. Okay, so we have our first fair value gap on the 1 minute here. Okay. 1 minute FFFG. The price is pushing back down. It might be pushing back down to these fair value gaps and then going higher, or it might break through them and use them as a level to push off of. But I see here, because right now on the 15-minute price is very bullish. We're definitely trying to go against the grain if we do want to short this. But let's see what price wants to do. Was it just grabbing stops below this high? Possibly. We have news coming out in 25 minutes too, so be cognizant of that. Nothing in my gut feeling right now is like trade one could be, it breaks this, creates a fair value gap, punches higher, and then starts pushing lower. But right now, like this 1 minute order flow is very bullish. Let's see here. Price tapped into 15-second and the 1 minute fair value gap. If price is very bullish, it'll keep going up from here and it shouldn't break this level. Or if if this was the Judah, then it'll break it, pop to the upside and push lower. The price traded into the first fair value gap on the 15-second. All the bodies are sitting above it right now. This was a good rejection of it. No fair value gap has formed though to the upside, right? Okay, it's pushing now below it. We gotta look at these bodies to see how they close relative to it. So look at that. That's still a very nice reaction off of it. No fair value gap has formed off of it. But it looks like it's going to keep pushing higher here. I'm just not comfortable right now, just taking a long off of and not traded through RTH gap. Even though that I agree with the higher time frame bias of it going long. So here, this first fair value gap that is formed off of it. It created a fair value gap after the rejection of this. Very bullish on the higher time frames here. So it might be reaching towards this buy side liquidity here. This weekly VI may have been that target that price would not break. It pushes higher. Then again, we just have so much relative close below us and an unfilled RTH gap. So I'm gonna wait a bit longer. I think post 10 o'clock here for me to execute on a trade. Just watching ICT's 2024 videos, you would never go long like this on a 110 point unfilled RTH gap. So this could be, this is brutal. It's pushing into the end dog of 1231 now. Yeah, exactly. If it keeps going up all the way high to this, it's a manipulated long, unfortunately. Very tough trading conditions, in my opinion. You'd want to see it go low. Like, look what it did here. It even created relative equal lows right there. Right from the most recent high or low on the 15-second chart. It even tapped that, right? So most likely it's going to be tagging this liquidity here. I am I'm done for today. Yeah, I think this was the run, guys. Did you catch anything? Wish me well. This was a lot. In theory, the first fair value gap plus 1.5K on the push. Nice. Good job. Yeah, like possible trade would have been right here off of this blue fair value gap to the upside. It's just my bias is always going to be short when I see something like this. Every time. These gaps are meant to be filled. At the moment that they get filled by like, it didn't even hit the first quadrant here. It just went straight up. So yeah, unfortunately I can't chase this. Good job. All right. TODD trading made 3K. Good job. I'm gonna have to wait for 10 o'clock news. See some relative equal highs, come back down to a fair value gap and trade it, possibly higher. Yeah. I was watching a video from ICT yesterday and he's like, when markets continuously push up in one direction, it's the hardest type of trading for YouTube live streamers because it's just not something that we're expecting. We're expecting for price to gyrate back and forth. The moment it starts pushing just up in one direction, it's how high is it going to go? And then you're an idiot if you're trying to catch a run that has already moved. How many points? 115? So, I really want to take a long here. I was just too uncomfortable personally off of this fair value gap here that formed. But I thought this would be the Judah, breaks below it. But these rejections off of the first fair value gap, it just indicates that it's a really strong fair value gap. Bearish breaker reached from yesterday's 8:30. Thursday's 8:30. Yeah. So where its price is going to right now is this going to be the Judah and then price is going to just shoot back down? I don't think so. I think price decided to leave relative equal lows below us. It's going to be targeting it sometime in the future. It might be pushing up higher. Weekly fair value gap. Why don't I see this on the weekly? Oh, here. Yeah. Yeah. I have to be patient. I have to wait. And if not, then I'm going to have to close off this day at my loss of minus 150 times on my account. So that's what, like $800. But essentially, here are the levels that the price is most likely working towards: 1, 2, and then 3 buy side liquidity. We got this 1 hour SIBI here. The price may be pushing back to. For us to go short today, remember, we have to see aggressive push lower, breaking a lot of PD arrays. Ultimately, the safest target would be breaking this 1 minute fair value gap, and that's when it would start pushing lower, but we'll see. We will see. Yesterday was a very clean trading day because price was going up and down, up and down. Today, it's just one directional. That's okay. There's going to be many more trading days in the future. 14 minutes till news. We'll see what news does. It's either going to act as a catalyst or it's going to shoot price down and it's going to start dropping lower. We had this kind of price run 2 days ago where price aggressively pushed to the upside. The entire group was bearish and then it just moved to the downside. It was like a big FU candle. Yesterday was beautiful. Yeah, yesterday was a good trading day. I should have risked more yesterday, but I didn't. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. Okay. So if you haven't caught anything till now on this move up, I don't think the next 14 minutes is going to provide an opportunity. I think the best thing we can do is let news hit, wait 5 or 10 minutes and see what price wants to do. But right now, price has made a lot of a lot of money on the longs. And then if price continues to keep going up like this, up until 11:30, there might be 11:30 reversals. So there's a strategy that I see talked about where if the entire morning is bullish up until 11:30, the lunch macro is going to want to take money from them and expect shorts. So usually when I miss crazy runs like this, I catch the longs offside during the lunch macro. That's kind of when you come in as a smart trader and you make money. Look at this. Look at this push lower. How much lower will you go, price? It might just be tagging in on the 1 minute here. We've got a fair value gap here that it's trading to, closed within it. We got another one right here that it might push to. Got a bullish order block here as well. If price was extremely bullish right now, it wouldn't break this fair value gap. Okay. But right now, like we can see weakening of this run. Let's see how it respects the second one. Like once it breaks the second one and once it breaks this, it may be going lower. I just pushed right now into the weekly fair value gap. Just trying to find confluence factors to take this short right now. Not right now, but after 10 o'clock news. So here is bullish order block. Here's that third PD array that'll need to break bullish. Do I see this as a turtle soup? The reason why I don't is because it didn't clean out a clear level of liquidity for me. If there was like equal highs here and it popped like that and then it started displacing lower, I would go short, but because it just went into a weekly fair value gap. That's something I would short because it can continue to push up to these. The short that I would take is if price were to go into this 1 hour SIBI today, and it would break this high, and then it would reverse, or just these two highs and start reversing aggressively, I would take that short. Assuming that price would push higher all the way till like the lunchtime macro. This would be like a high prob. So if it keeps pushing up, I would wait for like a tag of liquidity here, a reversal, and taking it lower. Like that would be my trade. Like something like that, right? There'd be something small in the 1 minute time frame, but that's one possibility for today if it continues to grind higher. But for me to take a short and to tag all these relative equal lows here, the weekly VI, the RTH gap of yesterday, all these relative equal lows. I want to see the 1 minute. fair value gap being broken, and I might take it down to the downside. Here is a bearish fair value gap after a market structure shift. When is news coming out? Let's see here. 9 minutes, guys. 8 minutes. So price tapped into the fair value gap. It's probably using that bullish blue one on the 1 minute chart as inversion. So see this inverted here. It touched into this one. That's a nice reaction. Right now, price is pushing towards this first minute fair value gap. Okay, this is very surprising right now. Okay. Let's see how it's going to react off of it. I want to see break below and create a fair value gap and trade up to it. Because it might go higher from here. It's pushing into this first fair value gap here. Is this going to invert? Or not invert, but is it going to respect and push lower? Or is it going to push higher? This candle, if it's a valid 15-second fair value gap, you want to see it break right below it within the next 7 seconds. If not, it's going to probably continue pushing higher. That's how you read these 15-second fair value gaps. So it looks like it didn't respect it. It inverted it right now, and it's going to be pushing higher, I think. Maybe to the second fair value gap here. Uses in 7 minutes. It's unfortunate we have news right now. So it looks like if this continues pushing lower, that's going to be a really nice disruption. And I think sell side delivery is going to be on the table. But I do want to see it close lower here. I realize you make the most money when you just wait. Like you're patient, you wait, and then eventually something comes up and you're like, oh, this is great. You take it and you make money. But you got to be patient. Or sometimes you take all these freaking losing trades in a row, and then finally like the right one comes up and you're like, why didn't I wait this whole time for this one super obvious setup? So price came back down to the first minute fair value gap. It respected it once again. It pushed higher. Okay. It's pushing, just looking at the 15-second here. I use a 15-second just for like just deeper analysis of what's happening here. We created another sell side fair value gap here, SIBI. Price is right now within it. The bodies are sticking within it, which is good. It touched this bearish order block. If it is going to reverse, it's going to reverse here. And then news is too close to take a trade pre-red news. The last thing I want to do is like get in with a tight stop loss, like 4 or 5 minute micros, and then it tags me out for like minus 500 because there's slippage after red impact news. Ugh. Come on, price. Give me a win today. Give me 8 winning trade, days in a row of winning. I was thinking about yesterday. I'm like, you know what? I have to lose one of these days eventually. This run is going for too long. Top Step sends you these emails for last year's performance, and my longest streak was 9 days, 9 trading days of all of 2024. I felt like it was longer, but it was probably when I was trading pretty small. Okay. Price is pushing into this bearish order block right now. So it's currently breaking above. I liked how this candle closed. All right, it kind of came up to the midpoint, closed below it, but the next one's pushing right above it again. It's pushing into this bearish order block here. Use is kicking in 3 minutes from now. Right now, the upper fair value gap is holding strength. Remember, the first fair value gap is usually what we aim for, but we have to allow price to possibly manipulate and go to the second fair value gap. That's the rule. So if you're taking like a short, for example, from here, which is not a shorting opportunity, usually like a safe stop would be there. But here this wouldn't be a short because it's bouncing off of the most important fair value gap post 930. These green ones right here. The price is pushing back to the upside. Pushing to this inversion fair value up here once again. Even with the drop here, I don't see anything that I could have caught on, like even on the 15-second chart. Like we did have a fair value up here form. Price broke lower. A short could have been taken there. It's like one possible trade here, but we're just so bullish that I don't know if anyone here would be comfortable in taking this trade right here, a 2-to-1. Okay, let's see. What is price going to do? Sometimes going into sessions, you know exactly what price is going to do. And some days like this, you're just sitting on the sidelines, trying to scalp something. But it looks like news is going to kick in 1 minute. Looking at the 1 hourly, it's still pretty bullish. The 15-minute, we did have a bearish close, but it may have just been a rebalance here, or almost a rebalance. A rebalance would have been if price got to the high of this candle, came down and back up. But as of right now, we have to wait. If price starts pushing lower post-news, breaks this 1 minute fair value gap, I'm going to be looking for inversions here. I'm going to try to target these equal lows here. If not, yesterday's close. But I don't know if it's going to push lower. Only one way to find out in 1 minute. This inversion gap here is holding really well. I'm going to mark it as yellow or as orange because it did invert to the downside. This bullish BTC broke below. Price is sitting on the lower half of it for the last couple of candles. News kicking in 10 seconds here. It's sitting at a decent resistance here, the end dog, the inversion, the SIBI. But we'll see if it respects it to the downside. Spike up and a spike lower. That's crazy. You traded that, you're out. Okay. So I like how price respected this right here. The SIBI traded to the upside, right back down. The inversion sticking. The end dog of 931 is acting as resistance here. Now what we'll be waiting for is I want to see a break below this 1 minute fair value gap. That's going to be my line in the sand here. If it doesn't break it, it's probably going to do nothing or go up, but for me to go short, it has to break this. feel like I'm too patient here. Okay. On the 15-minute, order flow does look bullish, unfortunately, for me. You know, price just pushed lower, closed in. A lot of this energetic move up and closed a bit higher, but price can get below this price here, then we might have opportunities. Right now, we are in the 950 to 1010 macro. It's essentially a supercharger for price to move in a direction. You can see these, like they're technically it's kind of holding moving forward, but yeah, it's sloppy. But I am liking this rejection right here. Good. It's breaking below the SIBI once again on the 1 minute. Yeah. The news was yeah. In my opinion, at least for me, it's tough to trade news like this. Like before the candle, like either you get lucky and you make a lot of money, it hits your stop loss, or it slips on your stop loss and you lose a lot of money. Because here it went in both directions, right? Shot up, shot down. But it is Friday. Let me see if there's any other news today. Forex activity. No, we just have just yellow news like natural storage at 10:30 and 11 o'clock. FOMC member Barkham speaks, but that's about it. So for today, price hasn't moved anywhere since 9:55. It's still moving sideways. So this is going to be like, I want this. Like once we get here, that's when I will be interested in shorts. But until it gets that level, I will not go short. So once price breaks the SIBI to the upside, we're probably going for higher prices. I feel like today's going to be one of those days where might not get anything clean. It's a bullish higher time frame bias right now. It's just kicking in. It's going to be most likely levitating to these highs here. In 50 seconds. Could we position along here? Maybe. Something I'd be crazy about. It already tagged this high. Okay. But here we've got layered fair value gaps, SIBI. This is technically considered a balanced price. So this here is balanced. EPR. We were almost out of the macro time frame of 950 to 1010. It might be pushing the daily to yesterday's high. So yesterday's high is right here. So that line right there is going to be yesterday's high. It's a strong level that, so price usually gravitates to highs and lows and mean thresholds of candles. So we had so for today we had initial run up. Possibility for aggressive longs at this 50-second fair value gap that I've indicated here. After the bounce on the 1 minute fair value gaps against a lot of magnets drawing price to the downside. It pushed higher. It went into the weekly fair value gap. And then it pushed lower. It did nothing around news. And now it's slowly, I think, pushing up to the upside, but nothing that I'm too interested in. Like, would you go long from here and try to attack the high side? Right? Like below the BPR here, below the end dog. Personally, I don't think, it could play out. I see more going long than short, to be honest. But it's just nothing A plus in my opinion. It's the way price is delivering right now. Price top down dog. Went higher. Like a long from here would be like a very low probability trade. Might span out, but we've already taken liquidity here. We dropped lower. Where is price going to go to next? It's seeking liquidity or inefficiency. So liquidity has been seeked. If it were to go lower, it can go to this bullish order block here and then go higher. It looks like it's actually pushing off of this. So for me, this is not something that I trade. But other than that, I'm going to give price. I'm not waiting for much, to be honest. Would have to break below that 1 minute fair value gap for me to go shorts. That idea I'm interested in. But because of the higher time frame, and when we're right now in the weekly fair value gap, we're just at a not so prime level to trade. So I think personally, I don't want to say this, but I think I'm going to be done for the day. Small loss. And I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you guys think, are there any ideas right now going long or short? Because right now it's just, I have this one shorting idea and that's it. It has to break 305 for me to attempt price to go lower. But other than that, I'm not interested in longs, even though that there is liquidity above us. We're at a Friday. Price has already moved a lot. We're entering 10:30 soon. So I'll give it actually till 10:30. I'll see if it drops from here magically. I think there's a 5% chance. But we will see. The bodies are sitting on the upper half of this balanced price range, which is nice to see. Means that it's being respected. Price isn't doing much right now. It's not really pushing in one direction or the other. It's just stagnating, at least based on the last 5 minutes. give it 4 more minutes. By 10:15. I'm still going to monitor the charts today up until like 11:30, 12 to see if we break this low here and we go lower. But I'm just not seeing what I want to see today. Let's see how the 4-hour closed. Very bullish. See? So again, trading short into this, not another negative confluence factor. And it wouldn't be wise for me to tell you guys to go long or short today. It's not a high probability day. EPR might be broken down to the downside. We'll see in 15 seconds. Thanks for the stream. We'll see you next week. Lock myself out. Good, good. If you guys are up for the day, lock yourself out. There might be a shorting opportunity, but we'll see. It's going to be a scalp if anything. Okay, price is dropping right now. I'm looking right now at the midpoint. Once this midpoint of this candle breaks the downside, it's indication that it's probably going to fail and it's going to keep going lower. But I do use midpoints, or sorry, consequent encroachments of wicks because wicks are gaps in the market. There's a market structure shift right now. I'm really stretching PA right now, but this is technically, it pierced the most recent high and it pushed below the most recent low. So this is considered a market structure shift on the 1 minute. And technically it counts right when the body gets tapped, but right there. That's the MMS right there. I guess while we're waiting for price to break this 1 minute first rally up, Monday I'm going to start streaming at 7 a.m. I'm going to be looking for relative equal highs and lows to be engineered post 7 a.m. And my goal is to take a trade by 9:30. I have to trade that morning. It's because historically, the Monday of NFP, it's one of my best trading days. And same with ICTs. He loves trading pre 9:30. There's huge ranges, very clean price action. So it's going to be a bit earlier. And then most likely Thursday and Friday of next week, it's going to most likely no trading. Same with FOMC on Wednesday. But let's see price. What you going to do, man? You took out liquidity on the downside right here. That's the short-term liquidity. It's been taken, pushed a bit higher. We did form a SIBI here after breaking the BPR. Price might go back up, fill this, drop lower, and then maybe shorts might be on the table then. On the 15-second chart, what's price doing? It just rejected this 15-second fair value gap here. Slowly going lower, but this is not meaningful displacement here. It's kind of just resistant. It's trading in a very high resistant range right here within this 2-minute time frame. So usually we want to see tap, explosion down to the downside if it's a meaningful fair value gap that's going to produce speed and distance, right? I'm going to see if any of my buddies got anything today. Negative. They all failed. Nothing was caught today. So we are entering slowly 10:30. Let's see what Friday has to offer. Price is pushing up. Might be going for this. If it is in a sell side delivery program right now, it might be reaching towards this SIBI or this one right above it. And then it might push lower. But so far, this 15-second SIBI it's acting really nicely. Like you see how all these candles just can't break the midpoint. This is small signatures on the 15-second that kind of add to the confluence of where price action can go in the very interim, right? Which is 15 seconds. So we got a nice push lower here. We're entering the first fair value gap. This is interesting. The first fair value gap, both on the 15-second and on the 1 minute, are the exact same. Okay. Right now, price is attempting to break. I do want to short it once it breaks this here. This might be a plus day. We'll see. Okay, I'm short right now, aggressively. One. Please create that. So right now I'm anticipating a fair value to be formed. Perfect. And I am going to be taking this to the downside. So my stop right now, this is the trade that I'm in. Be right. So we'll see. I want this to hold right now. It did break it to the downside to create a fair value gap. This is all positive stuff. It's unfortunate that it broke that fair value gap to the upside like that, but right now I'm happy with this PA here, and we'll see if we can take it down to these equal lows here on the one. And if I'm out, then that's it for me today. This was my bias that I was married to for too long today. So I want to take 207 out. Price right now is holding price below it. And if I'm out with this bias, I'm okay. My target rate. So it's a 4 and a 4.7 to 1. I don't see any like inefficiencies here that I want to trade to, other than this little small one right here on the 15-second. But based on my stop loss management, it's placed above this high here, and we're going to let it rip. I did add one more contract here just because I'm liking the rejection for a $300 loss, 751. Okay. I'm trailing my stop right here to above these highs here. The moment these get broken, I'm out for $200. So here's my stop loss. This trade better deliver. I waited long for it. I waited fucking 3 hours for this trade to happen. I'm going to partial out at midpoint. So 241. 241. Like I'm going to take off 50% here. 50% reduction. That's going to be the midpoint of the gap. And then I'm aiming for these lows right below us. So did anyone catch this or is it just me? I'm just curious. Oh, nice. Nice. I think it's in the bag, but yeah, we'll see. I'm liking this like huge fair value gap that we formed right now on the 1 minute. So right now we're in sell side, so all of these should hold very well. Like we should see a spike up here. I don't want like midpoint to be broken. If it is, it's just looking at signatures on the 1 minute. I wanted to start dropping from the lower half of this fair value gap. The body stay within it. That's good. What I want to see. But once it breaks this level right here, 328, done. DO money. All right, the next candle close below midpoint. That's good as well. And I do want to see price start dropping from here. Might be a slow grind lower just because it's close to 1030. But there's that drop I wanted. Like I may have been wrong on this. And I'm out. So unfortunately, price wasn't my favorite today. Yeah. I think it was a decent trade. This was my favorite trade of the day. Price did not want to go lower. It went to the end dog of 1-2 and then it pushed higher. But all in all, hope you guys learned something today. Unfortunately, it wasn't a win day for us, at least for me. Hope all of you have a good weekend, and I'm going to be back at it again at 7 a.m. So if you guys enjoyed it, feel free to drop a like, and I'll talk soon. Thanks, everyone. Have a good weekend. Bye for now.